Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to the YouTube channel where everything's pretty much about four wheels, motors, two wheels, motors, overlanding, off-roading, just pretty much anything that interests me. That's why this YouTube channel's name changed from Unfitted to James Williams. I got a truck. I don't know if you guys know that. And it's the ZR2. And there's having this truck, you'll know that there's not a lot of coverage on it. There are some people, don't get me wrong, and they do a great job, but this is my take on it. I plan on covering a lot on this truck and the build process for it and bringing you guys along every step of the way. So first of all, I have a 2021 Chevy ZR2 Baby Duramax. I live out in Colorado, so we have lots of awesome overlanding and off-roading opportunities that you can explore out here. And then also I used to live in Washington, and I've had this truck for a year and a month now, and a good majority of that was actually in Washington. So we would spend a lot of time out in Tahuya and going just through the national forests and national parks up there and whatnot. And it performed great out there, and it performs great out here. So let's just hop into this truck. This is the ZR2, the 21 ZR2 here. Completely stock. I do have plans on modding it, but I wanted to make this video right before I started modding it, just pretty much as a year in review of a completely stock ZR2. First things first, for a stock truck, this thing is awesome. You're not going to get stuck anywhere within reason. It hasn't left us stranded. We haven't needed any kind of recovery at the off-road parks up in the national forest. We actually took it up into the forest yesterday, I think it was, or 2 days ago, and it was snowing, and went through some pretty gnarly obstacles, and the truck just ate it. The only thing that I will say is the Tacomas do have better clearance or approach angle up here, but we do have these wheel wells right here that are pretty dope. Example, one time we were coming down from the mountain, and I hit a pretty big rock on the lower control arm right there, but that was no problem. I just backed up off of it, placed the rock right there on the wheels, and we're good to go. And also, I know that this big front fascia is plastic, but I actually, in Tennessee, I hit a deer with this, and it did break some of the grill right here. You can see that's broken. It's wobbly. If you push on it too hard, it's broken, but I'm not too worried about that. It looks fine, and I also plan on replacing the bumper with what? That's going to be a surprise. But so it actually held up pretty well. A pretty big plastic piece behind the bumper broke. I'm actually not exactly sure of what that is. I almost want to take it into a dealership and use my warranty to see if I can get that fixed before I continue modding it, but it looks fine. With the Duramax, I'm getting about 25 miles to the gallon, which is actually pretty surprising. I think I take that back. I was actually getting about 25 miles to the gallon in Washington at pretty much sea level. Up here, about 22, 23 maybe. And in Washington, I was actually getting about 550 miles to the tank. And here I get about 450. So that's actually a drastic change, which I expected, but didn't expect it to be like that. A big question that a lot of people ask about the diesels versus the gasser is, what's the problem with the diesels? if you ask me, I have no clue. I'm not a big diesel person in the first place, but with this diesel truck, I have had 0 issues. The only thing that I had was when I went to Tennessee, the emissions, like it threw a check engine light and it was something about the emissions. Went to a Chevy dealership, nothing was wrong with it. They cleared the code, never came back, but it went away, no problems, no actual damage was done. Had no clue what that was about. But as far as diesel, no issues. The only complaint that I have about the diesel is that it drinks to death. Like I said, I never had a diesel truck before, so I don't know if it's normal, but it drinks to death more than I expected. Which you can go to certain gas stations and they have DEF at the pumps, which is cheaper, but I just always use the box DEF. I mean, in grand scheme of things, yeah, you save money, but that's not the top of my worry list. All right, tires. So the ZR2 has the Goodyear Dare tracks. They're really great off-road. They're really great in the snow. They're pretty good with road noise. If you ask me, I actually like a little bit of road noise. You know, it just sounds a little beefy, but not too much. And that's exactly what this does. It gives, it may sound weird to some of y'all, but the more you wear these tires down, the more road noise that it has. I don't know if that's a normal thing. This is my first time getting into modifying trucks in big off-road tires. So I don't know if that's a normal thing, but that's what these do. And the only complaint that I have about these tires is rain. They do not like the rain at all. The truck gets pretty swirly, and sometimes if you're starting on a hill, then you're going to want to start off pretty slow because the back will probably kick out or start sliding. These tires do not like the rain. But everything else, perfectly fine. I do have plans on changing them out with 35s. 35 what? That's for you to find out. Actually, I'm not too sure myself. I do have 35s ordered, but they're on back order and I still haven't been charged for them, and they have no clue when they're going to get them in. Using that information, you may know what I'm talking about, but I feel like that's almost every tire company right now. But I did find another tire that is in stock at the local 4-wheel parts store, and if I get all the suspension parts in for this truck before I get those tires, I may cancel the tires, keep the wheels that I have on order because they have them in stock, and then, like I said, just cancel the tires, go to 4-wheel parts, pick up the tires that they have there, throw them on, bada boom, bada bang. Power wise, the diesel is way underpowered compared to the gasser, depending on what you want, because horsepower wise, way underpowered compared to the gasser. Torque wise, perfect. For me, honestly, the diesel is perfectly fine. If you're wanting to off-road, if you're wanting to overland, diesel, the power ratings on the diesel is perfectly fine, no issues. Now, if you're desert running or something like that, or I don't know, the gasser, sure, go ahead. But the diesel also gets better gas mileage. It has more torque. It will pull you out of any situation that you want. And to be completely honest, I've never had a time where I'm getting on the highway or something like that, and it feels underpowered and I can't get up to speed. One thing that I will say though is it does have a considerable amount of turbo lag, but that can be fixed with a tune if you get a tuner for it. Headlights. These headlights suck. Absolutely suck. You can't see jack at night, and yeah, it's pretty bad. But one of the issues once again with this truck is for some reason people don't really support this truck, and a lot, like if you watch the Peak suspension recovery truck that they built, those headlights, that company doesn't even carry those headlights anymore. There's plenty of good companies out there that just don't carry headlights for this truck, and I haven't found headlights that I actually like that I want to put in this truck. And then there are some that look good, but then if you watch videos on it, like, they look good, but the overall quality isn't good, and the lamps on the inside aren't good, and to change them out you have to modify them. So I don't know. When I find one that I actually like, I'll get some new headlights, but that currently is not on the list. This rock slider deal that we have going on, great. I've hit it just a couple times, not too many times. The lift kit on the ZR2 is pretty good, and it clears most stuff, but there have been some times that I hit it and it's protected the truck. From what I understand, this is body mounted versus frame mounted, and you really want something that's frame mounted for durability. But you know, I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there that needs it frame mounted, but for me, so far at the stock height, I've only hit it a couple times and not that bad. And then I also plan on raising it, so that's going to alleviate that problem even more. The only complaint that I do have is it's not that big of an issue now, but my wife is pretty short. Getting in, it doesn't really provide any kind of, you know, functionality. And then also getting in, because if it's dirty like it is now, I mean, I can pick up my feet pretty well, but once again, my wife, a lot of people drag their leg on this, get their pants dirty or whatever, and that can be pretty annoying. And the same thing for getting out. Getting out, I do drag my leg on it almost every time. Pants get dirty, whatever. Do I wish that there was some kind of like a CBI rock slider deal that they have for the Tacomas? Hell yeah, I do. But once again, people don't really support this truck all that much. Low hanging exhaust, you can see I have smacked that pretty good. And I do not see a point in trying to fix it. It's probably just going to go right back to that. And then the infamous low shocks, and so I have gotten hung up one time on this shock, and I also got hung up on the diff, which you can't see right now. So I will suggest getting shock skids or doing a relocation. For me, I don't really have a purpose for doing a relocation, but I do suggest at least putting shot skids on there, and go ahead and just do the whole skid plates, full skid plates. But if anything at all, shock skids and diff skids, because I also got hung up on the diff one time in Tahuya on a log. Tailgate has the slow lower tailgate, which is pretty cool. I do wish that it had like the multi-function tailgate. I understand that this is a off-road focused truck, and you don't really need that, but if you look at this truck, especially right now during the shortage, this is a very high priced truck, and it would have been nice for them to, I don't know, do that. They have it on the ZR2 Silverado, which obviously is going to come in at a higher price point, but you know, it's not the biggest deal, but I just wish it was there. But truck bed, decently sized, comes with bed liner. Haven't had any issues with the bed liner. Yeah, that's the back of the truck. Really not much to see back here. That's for a later installation video. All right, so if we hop into the truck here, so this is the cabin. It actually feels, for the driver, feels great. It's really not that small. I switched to this from a Silverado, an older Silverado, and yeah, it's smaller, but in some weird way, the way that the seating position is and the viewing, like, it feels like you're driving a bigger truck than what you really are. So that's pretty nice. One time I did, however, sit in the passenger seat, and I really got claustrophobic over there. It's pretty small, and you can see here the let's turn on the lights. The the edge of the seats kind of match up, and that's exactly where it was whenever I rode over there. And yeah, like I said, I got pretty claustrophobic, and I don't really like it. Maybe I just don't like it because I'm not used to riding passenger, because I kind of got sick too, but you know, it didn't feel good. Back seat, it's really not that bad, but we do have a kid, so we have his car seat, and then we have his stroller right there. So back seat's not really usable. We do throw the stroller in the bed of the truck if we do have people tagging along, but it's really not that bad back there. You can do it. Will it be the most comfortable? No. Speaking of def, I need more def. Here's the infotainment center. You got the map that's built in. You can use Apple CarPlay. I do have an iPhone, so that's what I use. And then you have, I mean, it comes with masks, dude. No, just kidding. I just have a crap ton of masks. It has this little storage area, but then it has this worthless phone charger. So I used to have an iPhone 11, I think it was, and that fit like crooked, and it just charged, like barely charged. But now that I upgraded to the new iPhone Max, it does not fit in there, and honestly, I don't know of any modern phone that fits in there and charges. Fits in there perfectly, at least. Like I said, my old phone did. And my final gripe about the inside is this T-handle shifter. I mean, whenever I first got it, I was like, yo, what the heck? And I actually looked at videos, and I guess people converted to a Tahoe or Suburban shifter. But now that I've had it, it's really not that bad. I kind of like it. I don't know, maybe I'll switch it in the future, who knows. Let's see here. And then, you know, this is what it looks like on the inside. Like I said, I love this truck, man. I love it. It has 4 high, 4 low, front rear lockers, gets you out of anything. It also has auto. Almost every Chevy vehicle that has 4-wheel drive equipped comes with auto. People say not to use it all the time, which I don't. But like if it's like a black ice morning or something like that, and you just don't know, throw it in auto, you're good. The seats are okay. I drove to Tennessee from here, which was 18 hours, and I could do it, but it does take a toll on you. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And then just real quick, so that you guys can hear the exhaust, it's really quiet. Really quiet. The only thing that you really hear is engine noise. Like if you come up here to the front, the engine noise is much louder up in the front. And then now that the truck is on, you can see the headlights. They're not good. And then like you can see right there where it's projecting a little bit, but at night, like sometimes you couldn't even know, especially if you're driving next to another car that has their headlights on. Sometimes you won't even know that your headlights are on. So that's pretty much an overview of the ZR2. There are things that obviously I wish were different, and that I wish that we could have got for this price point, which I feel like should just be in there for how much money you're spending. But at the same time, for it being an off-road machine, vehicle, overlander, whatever, it's awesome. It does everything that it's supposed to do, and I am excited to take you guys along in the process of upgrading it to what I think is the picture perfect ZR2 Overlander. So if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, share, subscribe. I know that this was a long video, but I just kind of wanted to go into depth, share some information that I think maybe I would have liked to know. And also just kind of come from an average person, not some big YouTube channel like Truck King or something like that. Like, this is a true after a year review of the ZR2, and I just kind of want to dive deep into all the things that I've noticed. Peace.